That down, let's move on to this. Penguin is killing it. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. This show, I've watched 3 episodes now. Every episode, the show just continues to get better and better and better. This last one, getting the backstory of Victor and the tragedy of with his family and all that kind of stuff. I curse the television set when the episode ends and there's not a play next episode button come up. Doesn't happen. It means I got to wait another week for it. And I love it. And of course, I love Matt Reeves' Batman, for which the Penguin is spun out of and all that kind of stuff. Well, this was kind of predictable. There's been a lot of discourse lately, including on some outlets, proposing that this is the perfect opportunity, considering James Gunn's DCU is still half a year, a little more than half a year away from even starting, that this is the opportunity. I've had a bunch of you guys, our viewers, writing in saying, John, don't you agree that with how great the Batman is and how great the Penguin series has been, that they should just fold the Batman and Penguin universe into James Gunn's new DCU? It would have been a problem to do that under the old DCEU, but this is a brand new clean slate, people are saying. This would be a missed opportunity. I've read some people say, if Warner Brothers and DC don't fold the Penguin and the Batman universe into James Gunn's universe. And listen, there's an argument to be made, right? It's never a bad idea if you've got something you're starting to put something people already love into it. You're starting something, take something people love and put it into it. I'm not going to do the same hand gesture because I just realized that was graphic. but
I didn't want to say anything.
That was unintentional. That was totally unintentional. But I mean, that's the whole genesis of Reese's peanut butter cups. You know, how do we sell these chocolate cups? I know, put peanut butter into it. There you go. And you're ready to go. I think I broke Chris. And we're ready to go.
Really wish we'd move on from this analogy.
Anyway. So there's an argument to be made there, right? Like, hey, we've got something that people totally love. It certainly isn't Joker, but we got something here people love. Let's infuse it in there. Let me give you 2 reasons why this is a terrible idea. The first one is obvious, okay? The first one's obvious. Is that this whole Penguin and Batman world was conceived as its own standalone thing, much like Joker was. Like, I never understood before Joker 2, when all we had was Joker and the Batman, people think, oh, they should mix the Batman and Joker together. I'm like, no way, those two iterations of those characters would never blend well on screen together. To me, it made no sense. But yeah, so it was made for its own standalone thing. But here's the real thing. Part of the reason I think that the Batman and now Penguin work so well is because they are grounded. And I don't mean like just comic book definition of grounded. I mean, really grounded. This happens in a real world. Mm-hmm. What would it be like if these larger than life characters actually existed in an actual real world? And that's part of the appeal of it to me. Penguin to me doesn't work where the way this Penguin is. This show suddenly stops to work if a woman in tight Daisy Duke shorts and a golden lasso jumps out of the sky and says, "By Hera, tell me the truth.
The mixed slushies are the best."
That's my truth. Gotta mix them. I love that line. I mean, it doesn't work. It doesn't work if a Nathan Fillion glowing green with a shiny ring comes flying down to the sky and makes a giant mallet hammer going boom, 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 hitting the bad guy. That doesn't work. All of a sudden, everything that makes Penguin feel so visceral and feel so real disappears. You know, it's the funny thing because a lot of times comic book movie fans want grounded and gritty and real, but they also want the spectacular and the supernatural. But sometimes you just got to accept you can't put two things together. Sometimes the individual parts need to be individual parts, and they don't work. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Life 360 Tile Trackers. So when I go out, I often bring my little backpack satchel. It's small and just big enough to hold my iPad, a backup battery, my wallet, and a few other things. Anyway, last year at a poker tournament, I thought I lost it. I freaked out for over an hour until I finally realized I had left it in the car. I wish that I had Life 360 Tile Trackers back then. And that's why you need Life 360's Tile Trackers. It's perfect for keeping track of all the important stuff that always seems to go missing. Keys, wallets, backpacks, you name it. If something's nearby, just ring your tile through the app, and if it's far away, you can track it on the map. Super simple. I've even got an electric bike that I keep in my backyard that would be pretty expensive to replace, so I slapped a tile tracker on that too. Instant peace of mind. And here's another thing I love. Unlike some other trackers, Tile won't alert thieves with notifications. It's great for families because it's not just about tracking stuff, it's about that peace of mind. So if you're ready to family-proof your family, head to tile.com and use the code Campea to get 15% off your Tile trackers today. That's tile.com, code Campea. So Chris, when I look at this, I'm so excited for James Gunn's DCU. I am ravishingly excited for it. I cannot wait. And I love Penguin. And Matt Reeves is the Batman. But I just don't think it at all is remotely sane to think about putting these two things together because they do not work with each other. They're great on their own. Well, hopefully the DCU will be great. But if it is, they'll be great on their own because they're unique. I don't see them putting together. What do you think about the argument that some people are making that they should try to cross them over, cross the streams, if you will? Is there an upside to be had there? What's the downside? How do you see it?
To these lovely people who would like this to be, you know, the main universe and canon and all of that, I say respectfully, no, thank you. I want Batman's villains rogues gallery to eventually get weird and not be grounded. I want to have a ridiculous Clayface situation and not have you explain some pseudoscience at me. I want Poison Ivy to show up and for her to be as weird and theatrical as she wants to be. You know, I want these villains to be bananagrams, and I want them to make sense with a man from Krypton,
Right.
with an Amazon. You can't do these kinds of things. It's almost like the Batman animated series that recently came out. I really enjoyed. I very much liked it, the one on Amazon. But then we got ghosts in it. And it was too early for supernatural things to happen in that show, in my opinion. And it felt weird to have that, where it was people who were donning costumes and deciding to take to the streets of Gotham for whatever reason. It just felt out of place to have that kind of supernatural aspect in there. And that's not even me bringing in something like Man-Bat or aliens or cyborg.
Solomon Grundy or something
Or Solomon
like that.
Grundy, yes.
Clayface.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the way they did it in the cartoon for Clayface actually was really fun. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
But it just doesn't make that much sense if you do want to have your traditional comic book kind of stories.
Right.
They do need to have some kind of cohesion through them. Batman should be potentially your grounded character who then is thrust into a world that is so beyond him because he is just a man. But then that's the part that freaks out the other members of the Justice League.
Yeah.
Right? Are you seriously just a guy dressed as a bat?
What does Superman call him? The
He's
most dangerous man in the world.
Yeah. He knows how to kill everybody. So I really like this as an Elseworld story. I love being able to explore Gotham in a very grounded way, but then I want to get to ridiculous Gotham. I want things to get crazy, and I want it to set up a world for Batman Beyond where people are injecting themselves with animal DNA. That's not going to happen.
You're not going to see this Penguin shooting from an umbrella gun.
No.
You know?
He's so dumb.
Yeah.
God bless Burgess Meredith, though. I mean, I would say this to people. Like, I'm already seeing people saying, John, Batman can be in a thing with Superman. The issue isn't really Batman. The issue, when you look at what Matt Reeves has created, is Gotham. That world that Matt Reeves created is not a world with golden lassos and magical lesbian islands and mystical galactic green rings and cybernetic armored guys. That it's Gotham. It's the world. The world that Matt Reeves created is not a world that all that stuff fits into. The world that the MCU has was designed to house all those things. The world that James Gunn is putting together is designed to house. So the Batman that's going to be in James Gunn's DCU can absolutely interact with all that, you know, magnificent, spectacular, otherworldly kind of things. because that's the world they're creating. But in the world that Matt Reeves created, it works because it doesn't have all that stuff. And that's why I don't think they're going to be able to cross that over. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I think this is a topic that's only going to be debated even more as Penguin goes on and continues to get better. But do you think they should just, you know what? Penguin and Matt Reeves' Batman are working. Let's just bring them into James Gunn's DCU. I don't think they should do that. Maybe you do. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.